Hello there, welcome. It is yet another episode of Pro Synth Network Live. This is episode 268. If you think the numbering went slightly wrong on our shows, it did. And I noticed it just the other day that I got two shows numbered 264, I think it was. So I had to go through and renumber the shows. Hopefully nobody noticed or cared, but it bothered me. So all the shows are now correctly renumbered, I believe, although this one might still say 268, but it's actually 269. 270 is next week, and we'll talk about that show a little bit later on. But we have a very special guest with us again this week, and we will bring that guest in shortly. But before we do, let's get all the boring rubbish out of the way. So first of all, if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, please do. It costs you nothing. You can get notifications of when we go on air, when we publish other videos, such as all the Super Booth stuff that we posted over the last couple of weeks. We've added a new one just the other day, which was our walk around the Synthesizer Museum in Berlin, which was brilliant. A massive thank you again to Stefan and his team for hosting us that Sunday. It was a brilliant hang just before going back to the airport to fly home. So it was a really, really lovely way of finishing off that whole weekend. So we did a little bit of filming around, showed you pretty much most of what they've got going there, including the spectacular Roland System 700, which was just lovely. It was amazing stuff. So yeah, and you can watch Stefan sort of very quickly throw up a little patch and a little arpeggio and sort of give us a bit of a demo and tell us a bit of stuff about that. So it's a really good video. Go and watch that if you can. So if you subscribe to the channel, you get told. You get information about when these things go up. Of course, if you want to comment during the show, you can do so through the various chat windows, whether you're watching on Twitch, YouTube, or Facebook Live, and we see all of those coming into the studio. Give us a thumbs up as well. Give us a like, particularly during the show. I'm told it works the algorithm, so if you can give us a thumbs up during the show, that would be most appreciated. And of course, if you know somebody who would enjoy this and doesn't already watch the show, slap them around the head, ask them why on earth they're not already watching the show, and then share them the link and then rub their head better. So please do that, because you know the more people we get watching, the more the word gets out, and the more we can serve this wonderful community that we are part of. If you want to support the channel, because we are completely community funded, we rely on donations from you lovely lot to help us pay all the bills, because it ain't cheap, I can tell you that. You can do that in a number of ways. One great way to do it is through our Patreon page, patreon.com/ProSynth Network. It's a minimum $2 a month. You can turn on and off the subscription as you see fit. And every cent, every dime, every penny goes towards paying the bills and keeping us doing what we are doing. What it doesn't do, and I did want to point this out, it doesn't pay for our trips to go to Berlin and all that kind of stuff. But it helps keep the channel on air so that we can broadcast the stuff that we see in places such as that. So yeah, you can do it through there. You don't have to, but it's lovely if you do. And if you do that through Patreon or YouTube channel membership, same sort of thing, minimum $2 a month, you get loads of free stuff. So we give you something in return. So we give you exclusive videos that are cut from the shows without any adverts in them. I'll be putting all the Super Booth stuff up onto the Patreon page and the YouTube members page, all ad free. So you get that sort of little benefit, but you also get some fantastic patches for your synthesizers, if you've of course got the synthesizers that the patches are for. And we've just added 3 banks of Hydrasynth patches that will work across every single version of the Hydrasynth from our wonderful friend Mr. Mark Barnes up there in Scotland. He did 3 volumes of patches, and he's now discontinued them from his website. But if you want them, you can get them if you subscribe to either our Patreon or our YouTube channel members. So you get stuff like that. And there's loads of other things. There's Cherry Audio presets from James Dyson. There's other hardware stuff from both James and from Mark as well. If I go into a coughing fit soon, I will apologise, and I'll try and mute my mic. I've picked something up. I'm not sure. I think it was from the missus. But it's just, when I talk, I get this sort of, when you feel you're about to cough, and then when I do, it's not very pleasant. So I'll try and curtail that, but I just wanted to let you know, give you a warning before I have a fit. So there you go. Patreon is right there. Of course, you can also support us by buying merchandise from our wonderful merchandise store that we are constantly adding things to. For example, we've got our Frankie Say Watch the Pro Synth Network materials. We've also got the bikinis, we've got the vest tops, we've got the Keith in Watford bandanas, we've got posters, candles, vest tops, t-shirts, mugs. I'm even right now I'm sipping a beverage from a wonderful Pro Synth Network 32 ounce for you Americans. It's got a built-in straw. This is to replace the one that I left on the S-Barn at Super Booth because we had some specially made up ones. Look at that. Unfortunately, you can't buy these ones. These are very rare. There were only 2. Now there are 3. I've got one. Peter's got one, and some lucky sod on the S-Barn managed to pick one up for nothing. So only 3 of those in the world. Mobile phone cases as well, all sorts of stuff. And again, we're able to take a little bit off the top of the prices of the merchandise. Big thanks to Sean Kissing the Machine for buying his zipped hoodie just the other day. I see it has shipped, so it's on its way to you. So it's a very quick service. So we're also across all the social media platforms, so you can see us on things such as, of course, YouTube and Facebook, Blue Sky, Twitch, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. All at Pro Synth Network. If you want to follow us there, that would be fantastic. We don't do a lot apart from Facebook. If during the show you have a question for us or for our guest, then please prefix your question in the chat with a big capital Q, and that helps us spot it, pick it out, and put it onto the screen at the appropriate time. So there we go. And whilst I'm here, I might as well throw these because of our guest. If you want to go and learn more about our guest, go and visit the Alan R Pearlman Foundation.org. And if you want to make a donation, then that is most welcome. And it's the same website address /donate. But we're going to be hearing more about what the foundation is doing to raise funds and raise awareness in the coming weeks and months, just very soon. And before we get to our wonderful guest, let's bring in our amazing co-presenters. I haven't seen this guy for an entire week. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
A little sore around the middle.
Oh, what were you going to say there? Have you had a stomach bug as well?
No, I had a Mustang bumper fall on me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's novel.
I was stuck under the car for about 5 minutes, but Fiona was in the back garden doing her own thing.
Oh, dear.
So, yeah, it's sort of like, yeah, it hurt.
I bet.
But it's a steel girder.
Yeah, I say, yeah,
it
big
was heavy.
thing.
So, yes. So, yeah, a bit sort of like sore around the middle. Other than that, fine. Yeah,
Good.
everything ticking over.
Lovely. Excellent. Good to see you. And how are the pooches? Are they all okay?
All good. All
Good.
happy.
Excellent stuff. Did you get that video I sent you there earlier today? I sent you something in Messenger.
I did see it, but I haven't actually run it up yet.
There's some full-on husky action. See, look, you mentioned pooches, and then they come. Hello, Siri.
Right, so you come to represent, have you? Come on in.
Let's have a look at your collar. Oh, what's the collar?
Where's your collar? Has Lily taken it off again?
Oh, she said, Dad, where's my collar? We do dog collars in the merchandise store in case anybody wasn't aware. Yeah. Lovely to see you as always, Mr. Spong.
Yeah, thank you.
And Siri, of course.
And
our other co-host is also feeling a bit sore around the tummy, Mr. Longhurst. Have you got a handy?
I don't have a Mustang belly. I have a viral belly. I don't know. I've got a bug, and I'm feeling like caca. I'm not sure if I'll make it to the end, but I'm here to support our wonderful guest and annoy you all.
Yes. Well, you do both very well.
Thank you.
Lots of practice.
Yes, indeed. So there you go. That's Kent and Andrew, as always, by my side. One's on the left, one's on the right. I don't know which one is the good one or the bad one. But anyway, let's move on and bring our very special guest in. She's a regular on the show. She is the daughter of one of the legends of our industry, our very existence, one of the very reasons that many of us are here. And she does fine work running the Alan R Pearlman Foundation in honour of her father. It's the one and the only, the fantastic and beautiful Dina Pearlman-Ifil. Oh, I have to get these double-barreled names and everything.
Yay!
Welcome to the show, Dina.
Yay!
How are you doing?
I am as well as could be expected. This is like Nam on steroids. It's crazy.
So, first of all, do you have a sore tummy as well? Are you okay?
I'm okay. I am
Good.
okay. I'm
Glad to hear it.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear this. Maybe it's too much schnitzel. I don't know.
I know it's. I'm okay. I've got a little cough, but other than that, so anyway, is everything well in your world? I know that you are very busy at the moment with lots of things, but other than that, is all well in your world?
It is. My rose bush is prolific this year.
Nice.
My husband's busier than ever with music gigs, a new group.
Cool.
He's got New York Funk Alliance, so
Nice.
and they play an ARP once in a while. I don't know where they got that from.
Brilliant. Well, it's always great to have you on. Let's bring everyone into the room. There we go. It's great to have you. And we've got lots to talk about because you are doing lots with the foundation because this year, of course, is the centenary of the birth of your father. Yes. And so you're doing a lot of stuff. We'll get into that in just a moment. But I just do want to say big hello to everyone that's in the chat and is populating the chat with all sorts of nonsense, which I can't read. And there's lots of stuff going on. But thank you ever so much for joining us. Also, thank you. I know that Mr. Brooks is away gigging today at an EMOM, so he won't be moderating. So I'm hoping that maybe Ben from Musines or even Andy Synth Addict might pop in there just to keep an eye on you horrible lot. Make sure that you all behave yourself. But I'm just having a scan through. All the usual suspects are there. Welcome back and hello to you all. Your patronage is, as always, incredibly welcome. Also want to point out that before the show, Lee Sebel, I don't know. I hope I got that right in one way. But Lee, anyway, has become a YouTube channel member. Thank you very much indeed. And so has our good friend Steve the Bastard from Australia. He has become a YouTube channel member as well. So thank you indeed for your memberships. They are most welcome. And we've already had a donation in from Icing the Body Electric. There's a tenner. Have some tequila this weekend in honor of Dave Smith. There couldn't be a better reason. So maybe not tequila. I'll have a grappa. Thank you very much. I prefer a little grappa instead. So thank you to all of you for your memberships and for your donations. They are most welcome. Don't forget, if you want to stick a question into the chat, stick a capital Q in front of it. Hopefully one of us will see it. And we will get that thrown in there. Mr. Metley says it's pronounced Sable. So thank you very much. I apologise, Lee Sable. There we go. We got your name right in the end. Thank you for your membership. It is most welcome. Right. Okay. So.
Can I quickly interject?
Go. Yes,
right.
Please.
Dina.
Yes.
Darling. Right. Do you remember quite a few years ago, I said I'd got something that I could send you. I don't know how much use it would be to you, but I had something I could send you.
Yes.
Because it would relate, and I never sent it. And one of the reasons I never sent it is because I lost it. And I found it last week.
Oh my God, brilliant. That's great.
So, look.
What is it?
Oh my God.
Not only that, this has never been in a 2500. It is completely brand spanking new.
Holy shit, that's the Oh.
But like they say on the game shows, but there's more.
Sorry.
Oh, there's more.
Family show. I apologize. Here we go.
No, don't worry.
Two.
Brand new. Never been used.
What do the labels say on the back? Wasn't there a label on the back?
Yeah, they're cherries. With their part number code.
Yeah.
So there you go. 2 2500 matrix panels.
So amazing.
Winging their way to New England soon.
Yes.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, so be careful with them.
Only took, 5 years to find them?
You know, it's... Now even more, right? If you hold on to them another 5 years... No,
because what I did is I put them somewhere safe, which is absolutely killer. Honestly, I put things away somewhere safe, and then I never find them again.
Well, there you go. You don't see those every day.
Thank you, Kent.
No problem.
Very, very good. Excellent. Okay, so right, Dina, I'm going to start. Where do you want to start? Obviously, this is the centennial year of Alan's
birth,
arrival onto this planet. I was looking for something, a little bit more interesting than just saying being born. Yes, he arrived on this planet on June the 7th, 1925. That's only just over a week away.
Yes.
It's my mother was born my mother and sister were born within days of that. So it's obviously have you tracked back 7 months? Yeah, it was probably quite cold, wasn't it? 9 months, yeah. Anyway, so Alan arrived on June the 7th, and you're going to be celebrating that with a whole series of events. Where would you like to start?
Oh, gosh. I mean, I guess we could start in the order of events.
Okay.
I know I sent you a whole ton of stuff. Well, we're doing first of all, I want to emphasize that we are doing an entire year of celebration. So with the idea that a centennial takes place over a year, from June 7th and going on to the following June, a lot of that has to do with the fact that we just can't be in many places at once. And it takes resources, energy, and time. But it's very, very exciting. I have visualized this for about 2 years now. I've been thinking about this and getting other parties on board. And I'm happy to say that it's been gathering a lot of steam.
Cool.
Yeah. One of the things, a little bittersweet thing, is he had always hoped to be 100.
Oh.
And my grandmother, his mother, lived to be 99. We thought she was going to make it to 100. So longevity runs in that side of the family. Actually, both sides. So we're kind of blessed that way. Yeah. So the other thing is in thinking about how one recognizes the emergence of arriving on the planet, as you say, as part of acknowledging a public person, I thought this was really our time to introduce my father as a person, as a fully formed, well-rounded person whose inventions not only changed the world, but were indicative of the person he was, if that makes any sense. So there's a lot to my dad that's really interesting that I keep unearthing more and more information about that a lot of people don't know. And we hope to start to disseminate this information in interesting and fun ways. Cool. So the first thing that's going to happen is at MEAP, which is starting a project called the Museum of Music Technology. And I think some of them might be in the chat, or they will be if they're not now. So maybe they can answer some questions, but I'm going to do my best. So we had thought about doing an event for a while, because when I first went to MEAP, they showed me their collection of ARPs, which is incredible and vast. And I think I might have given you some photos of that.
Yes.
And they said, well, we're going to make an ARP room someday. And I said, that's fantastic. And we definitely want to collaborate with the Alan R Pearlman Foundation. So this was a total match made in heaven, and the timing was perfect. They have, in their process of getting this new project going, a museum within their organization, they've increased their capacity for in-person events. So this is one of several events that they've been hosting recently. And they're also going to be having workshops, and they're visualizing 6 months of different ARP-related workshops, events, and that.
Nice.
We're going to be, so a little bit of flash news. This is really important for all of you, because we all understand that their location, which is outside of Philadelphia, is absolutely not available for everybody. So we've finally been able to solidify a streaming option. So if you go to the event now, there is a streaming option. And for $25, because of course this is also a fundraiser, you'll have access to the stream. And I'll talk a little bit about what kind of content will be there. And you will also have access for a month afterwards. So for those of you in the EU and UK that perhaps don't want to stay up till 1 or 2 in the morning, which is totally understandable, or actually I think it'll be starting at midnight UK and 1 o'clock Europe. There will be the streaming option, but you can go back and look at it. And you will also be given a link to some proprietary merch for this particular event. So
Nice.
you see those the dot pattern and all, and that's kind of an interesting story in itself. I'll tell you about that in a moment. We've done a sort of a brand for the year, if you will, Art at 100. And we have wonderful T-shirts and stickers and posters that are around this event and future events. So we're going to make those on a discount basis for those of you who do decide to do the stream. So we're really trying to give you as much bang for your buck as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool stuff. So what's going to be actually happening at the event on June the 7th? Is there a launch event?
This is a launch event. For those people that are in person, there's going to be some catering. So food and wine are going to be involved, which is nice. We're also going to have a showing of some videos and films, a couple of which you've seen, a couple of which people have not seen yet. And that will probably not be part of the stream per se, but the stream itself will be 3 performances. There are 3 artists, and there's also going to be an interview and a discussion, and all of those will be available. Yeah.
And who's going to be playing?
So we have Don Slepian, and there he is. Interesting thing about Don is I met him when I was 7. He was selling synthesizers on the island of Oahu with a gentleman named Peter Cavaggio. I think, yeah. And so I have very vague memories, of course, but it was my first time, I think, on Oahu, and it was really amazing to just the whole situation was pretty amazing with hula dancers and synthesizers. I'm not kidding you. At the same event, there was an event where someone was playing at 2600. And also there was a Hawaiian dancers and a Hawaiian singers. It was pretty amazing.
That sounds cool.
So Don is very well known in ambient music circles, and he's a fabulous person and a fabulous musician and a great personality. So
cool. So he's gonna be playing, and there's some other people as well. Yeah.
Yep. Michael Hunter, also known as Ambient.
There he is. You often see him in the chat. That's what he looks like in real life. Well, slightly shadowed, but
yeah, he's there quite often. I'm hoping he shows up. And the first time I met him, that's another great story as well. This was back in 2019, and I got a call from a friend who said, "Dina, there's someone playing synthesizers about 2 blocks from your house." I'm like, "What?" "Yeah, I think there's an ARP there." And so I saw like a live stream, and I couldn't quite see. So I said, I'm just going to get in the car and go. And they're like, I come to the door, and they're like, "Well, you didn't get a ticket. It's kind of late." I'm like, No, you have to let me in. Please let me in. I have to meet these people. I have to see this. So that was Rob Puricelli and Mike Hunter. And this was under a program that a very dear friend and wonderful musician named Neil Alexander. He plays, he's a jazz fusion guy who has a bunch of bands, plays a lot of Weather Report stuff. And he's also a fantastic composer. So he was hosting this series, and they were here for the series. And little did I know that both of them would be very involved in the creating the story behind the Alan R Pearlman Foundation. So
nice.
Yeah.
And then the other artist you've got playing is
Robin Hatch. Yes. So she was recently added. She recorded an entire album on Tonto.
Wow.
Yes, and I think she's played with some pretty heavy hitters out there. I think you have her full bio. This was sort of last minute, and we still have a couple last minute surprises that we think we're just waiting to hear about.
Nice.
But I'm very excited. So the 3 of them will be performing, and there will be 3 very different, but all amazing performances.
Yeah. And this is the space that they're going to be performing in. Is that right?
That's right. Right.
Yeah.
So there can be about 50, 60 people, I believe, maximum, something like that.
Nice.
It's intimate, but big enough to be energetic, and small enough to be really a part of the performance.
Absolutely. Well, that looks great, and the fact that you're streaming as well means that everyone can have the opportunity to witness that and join in. You got your hand up.
I do. I've got a question, if I may.
Please, questions are great.
I think there are some, unpardonably, in the world who don't understand why your dad was so important. We've often talked about other manufacturers, the wonderful Michelle and Bob. Alan was as important to the whole history and development of electronic music and everything we now have. And invented things before anyone else. There were lots of things, lots of firsts came from ARP, and lots of really significant artists and sounds that were the soundtrack to my life and still continue to influence everything we're doing here. That's why this is important. Alan is super. Sorry about that. But Alan really
does
is.
It for impact, doesn't it?
Alan really is foundational to everything we understand about contemporary music and everything we do. So could you tell us a little bit about some of that, do you think? Because I'm not sure if everyone understands just how significant your father was, and he really was.
Well, first of all, he was really in on the game much earlier than I understood, and a lot of people understand, and it's something that we've recently been trying to talk about a little bit more. You might have a graphic with that newspaper article. I'm not sure.
I do. I just noticed it, so I'm bringing it in right now. He says, if I can find the cotton picking thing. Keep talking, and I will try and get it in there.
Yes, my father was involved in. He put together radio sets when he was a little kid, and radio kits, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. But when he was in college, he wrote a paper about touch sensitivity in electronic musical instruments. This was in 1948. This is a lot earlier than most people have known that he was involved with the synthesis.
Wow.
Had an interest. Yeah.
Didn't he win awards for that?
And he won an award for that by an organization that used to be part of, it turned into IEEE. Actually, give me 1 second.
There you go. There's the Worcester Daily Telegram dated Tuesday, May 4th. I believe that says 1948. And there is Alan Pearlman there. Well, did he ever become a doctor? I'm not sure.
No. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, it's the blurring of stick it in front of your face. There you go. And you kind of get it there. There you go.
Yeah. So this basically, the organization was called the Northeastern District of American Institute of Electronic Engineers, and it turned into IEEE. And this is one of those extremely frustrating situations, because I have 3 pages of the paper, and this is what I found in his stuff. But there's evidence that there was a whole paper because he won that award. And he talks about he's making comparisons to something to the Hammond Solovox. Okay, and he's talking about the deficiency of this. I'm going to be scanning these, but we are trying to find the entire paper. A Tactovax is what he seems to be calling this. A Tactovax. TAC.
And so essentially, everything we often of late, the last few years, have talked a lot about tactility and being able to articulate sound with aftertouch and poly aftertouch. Yeah. That was something your dad was thinking about, and in fact brought out some of the first aftertouch enabled keyboards in the world, didn't he?
The Pro Soloist.
There we go.
So Pro Soloist, aftertouch presets, digital. There's there's early early computer components And this is it came out the same year as the Odyssey, if I'm not mistaken. There was an earlier version called the Soloist, and we have not yet done the symposium about the Pro Soloist / Pro GDX, which I think will be imminent if not part of the overall year. If we're going to emphasize a synthesizer during this next year, it will be around the Pro Soloist and the Pro DGX for sure. This was a real instrument that was before its time, and it transcended genres. This is an instrument that was played funk, R&B, Genesis, Tony Banks, Prague, and so many people loved this synthesizer. This was a musician synthesizer. They did not have to learn how to program. They did not have to learn how to make a patch per se. They did have a toggle switch of lower and upper voices. Very easy to use. It was my instrument of choice when I was 8 years old. For what that's worth. Mostly because I would walk over to one of the modulars or semi-modulars and get very frustrated very quickly.
Yeah.
And anyone with a contemporary synth will recognize immediately all the features that are in that are still here with us now. Your dad started that 50 years ago?
Yes.
50? Is that 50, Ken?
Oh no, we're 50. We're at 55 years now since ARP started. Tonus actually started in 51 years ago, and then it became ARP Instruments the year after. Another thing that I think is very important to mention is that he was very concerned with usability for all levels of expertise. So. That's one of the reasons again that the Pro Soloist came out. And I've read some things that some purists often have written that because it was not a modular, it wasn't a real synthesizer, which I take a little umbrage because I think we all use lots of synthesizers that are not modular. So and what I think is fantastic is that he went in both directions. A lot like Bob Moog, working with presets and working with the modulars, and I think that spectrum of options is really important. He also was very concerned with ergonomics, but I know I've spoken a lot about that. The easy to view because of sliders,
use of colors, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, big stuff.
Yeah.
So there's also, just to move on from what's happening over at EMIAP on June 7th, there's also something very special that is available for sale right now with all proceeds that are going to the foundation. Just filling time here so I can just get my tab populated. Here we go. So tell us a little bit about this.
Oh, yes. So this was signed the last year when Herbie was at the Hollywood Bowl celebrating the anniversary of Chameleon. And he graciously signed it. Korg donated it. It is one of the ones that came in a kit, but they put it together, so there's no putting together needed. So this is really a truly one of a kind. I don't believe these are in production currently at the moment. So it's not like you can go out and buy another one without the Herbie signature. I'm sure, in this capacity. But we all feel that Herbie his work was and continues to be groundbreaking, and he really ushered in a whole new lexicon of possibilities.
Yeah.
So this is very special, and we hope it goes to a wonderful home.
Absolutely.
All of the proceeds go to us. It is graciously being hosted, I guess you would say, by the Synth Cube people. They have been very generous and amazing with us partnering and sometimes sponsoring our programming. So we're indebted to them, and they're once again coming through and allowing us to list this on their website. So you can just go and buy it, and they'll just ship it out to you. Boom.
There you go. Anywhere in the
What
world.
a great,
great
instrument. Yeah,
so
great.
because wasn't the bass, Anthony Marinelli did a really good video about the bass line from, was it Headhunters or something? There was I can't remember how it goes now, but that was all done on an Odyssey. That was a very cool video to go and watch. But yeah, there you go. It's at synthcube.com. Maybe we'll try and put the link in onto the chat. Let's just do that. Bam, there it is. So go and click on that. $3,900 for a brand new ARP Odyssey, Korg ARP Odyssey full-size assembled kit, signed by the legend that is Herbie Hancock.
There's a picture of him signing in the bottom.
Yeah, we got it. Just there we go.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So that's very cool. There we go.
It's on the Hollywood Bowl stage.
Yeah. There's a stage. So there we go. So that's another thing that is being done this year in honor of your father. And there's also going to be some things going on at NAMM. Am I right?
Yes, we're starting in early August. We just got the dates today, so I haven't even had time to post them yet. We thought it was going to be around the second week, but it's going to be third week, but it's going to be closer to the second week, and that is August 9th and 10th. We're going to have an event at the NAMM Museum. So disregard that date.
Okay.
But we're going to have an exhibit. Brian Kehoe is doing a lot of the curating. I think you all know Brian.
Yep.
And it's going to feature a night of music and a little bit similar to what we're doing with MEAP. That'll be music and catering and the whatnot for opening night. And then the next afternoon, we're going to have a panel. We're going to show some video and similar to what we're doing at MEAP, but this time in person and of course with other folk.
Yeah.
We're not going to announce the lineup yet until we have a couple more yays or nays. So we're waiting to build up that lineup. But the dates have been finally written in pen, so to speak, and that
all signed off.
Now this is interesting. So it's the NAMM Museum is very close to San Diego. It's about an hour from southern LA, I guess. Yeah, it's a great space, fabulous space. And right now, Don Lewis's Leo is there, which also, features ARPs and many other synthesizers. Yeah. It's a lovely, lovely space.
Yeah.
There's going to be educational events throughout the year too, and it's going to go through the NAMM show. So those of you who go to NAMM, it'll be up. You can come down and see it. And we're discussing maybe integrating some aspects of this with the actual NAMM show. But since I don't have that, you know how it is. Things get discussed. But it will be a 6-month show as well. And so if you are coming to the West Coast to go to the NAMM show, you could take a detour, a few days before or a few days after and see this exhibit.
Yeah. That sounds very cool. I mean, I've always wanted to go to NAMM, but I've always wanted to go there as well, because especially if Leo's there, because I'd love to just be able to see Leo in the flesh.
This is the year to do it.
Yeah. We shall see. It's not the best time, I'm afraid, to visit the shores of the United States right now, I would sort of say. Let's not get too political, but so we've got the celebrations at MEAP. We've got the exhibit at NAMM. We've spoken about the ARP Odyssey that's being signed or has been signed and is available for sale now of the Odyssey. We spoke a while back, as we often do, and I was able to put you in touch with a musician for the purposes of procuring some music from them to put onto a very special compilation album. Are you able to tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, I'm going to tell you who's putting it together, and until we get the signed contracts, I'm afraid I don't want to put out any names. I will say that there are representatives from, I would say a dozen countries, a lot of people from the UK as well. Steve Roach is the person, the brains behind this. Those of you who know Steve Roach, an amazing artist and composer. And it was his idea, and I was, yes, let's do this.
Yeah.
So we have somewhere between 30 and 40 artists.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. And it's going to be available on Bandcamp. All the proceeds are going to go to us. And we are probably going to release one, if not more, CDs from this. So we'll have the entire comprehensive compilation collection will be available on Bandcamp. And then as funds see fit, we will also produce some CDs from it as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I want it on vinyl. That's what I want.
Vinyl.
Like a triple album or something.
Vinyl, definitely.
Nothing's off the table, but really, again, everything depends on funding.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
the way the world works. Unfortunately,
indeed. Yeah.
That is due out in September, so we hope to have that ready for NobCon, Bristonica, and all that. The fall events that are going to be happening. So.
Fantastic, yeah. Because I'm mentioning those events. I mean, you sent me a list of places that you are hoping to visit in the coming sort of 12 months. So you mentioned NobCon, which is obviously just outside Chicago. It's Suit and Tie Guys event. That's the one I really want to try and get to at some point. Machine Bristronica, which is happening at the end of September over here in the UK near Bristol. Then, of course, you've got NAMM in January, and then kind of full circle, we get to Super Booth in Berlin at the beginning of May next year. So are you hoping to attend every single one of those?
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
That'll be fun. You come and live over here. Just come and live over here for a year.
Yes.
I mean, we've done trade deals now. It must be possible.
Well, we can have like an exchange program, right?
Yeah, that would be good.
A couple from the UK, and then Roberto and I will go and hang out there for a year.
Sounds good. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It'd be great to see you there.
So NobCon is always a delight to go to. It's been a lot of fun. I've been wanting to get to the UK for a while. There is an exhibit that is in London. It's a music exhibit, and I apologize that I didn't write down the name of it. It's got the Museum of Music.
It's the Korg exhibition, isn't it? Let's just bring up the details. Korg exhibition, Korg Gallery at the Musical Museum is what it's called. Let me just bring up the Korg page here and just throw it onto the screen. There we go. Discover the evolution of modern music creation. Of course, that's featuring some of Korg's art recreations in there as well.
Yep. And there's a thing about my dad somewhere there, I believe.
Might be on the other. Let's have a look.
If you go into the art section, you'll see. So those pictures that are right above. Whoop.
Oh, sorry.
See the black over there? Yeah, click on that one.
Yeah, it's not
enlarging.
No, it's not. Maybe if we go to.
We'll put some links in, right? We can put some links.
Yeah, we can find. But yeah, we've spoken about this on the show before. It's it looks really, really cool. But yeah, it's right there.
So I'm working with the lovely people at Korg UK, Luke Edwards, and I'll be coming there and doing a lecture and talking about what the foundation's doing and what all about my dad. I'm working with a videographer on a short documentary style video. And when I say short, I mean somewhere in the round of 20 minutes or so, which we will be debuting on Saturday.
Nice.
And Yeah, and it has excerpts from stuff that probably most of you have seen, but it's an entire timeline of his life story. So, interestingly enough, Arp was smack in the middle.
Yeah.
He lived to be almost 94, and he was in his 40s when Arp started, and early 50s when it ended. So that was sort of the bridge between the two parts of his life.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll be talking about his family and some of these discoveries, and it's an overall thing. But I feel that it's important to talk about him as a person because he was he was a very well-rounded person. The whole I'll hear the word STEAM, right? Science, technology,
Yeah.
engineering, arts, and math. So he really embodied that. He was as interested in caring about the arts, of course, in music and visual art as well.
Yeah. And talking of the arts, he also wrote a book.
Yeah. So we will hopefully be getting at least a preliminary version before the end of can you see this?
Yep, The Resurrection Terminal.
Right, it sounds like right out of one of those wonderful Star Trek.
Can humans live forever? Can the living resurrect the dead? That sounds fascinating. So this was a novel, yeah?
This is a novelette. It's a short novel. I think it's about just under like 120 pages or so. There's a lot behind this. He talks in, I think it's the NAM oral history, which I highly recommend if no one has seen it. There's two versions. There's a short and a longer one. He talks about his interest in science fiction, in astronomy, cosmology, and all that. There's something really, really important to him. He was captured by the stories of like Buck Rogers when he was really young, and had always been interested in the universe and space, which is sort of ironic, or maybe not, that he ended up working vicariously to the NASA program, because he was,
absolutely, yeah. He was very much a futurist, wasn't he?
Absolutely. He cared very much about the future of our planet, both culturally and physically. He's worried about climate control, about climate change.
Yeah.
And the last, I would say, good 10 years, if not longer, of his years of his life, he was working with a sort of a self-made think tank. He would be sharing his ideas with everybody, but he was researching all sorts of different methods of sustainable energy, ways that would not deplete the planet of its resources, and hopefully increase oxygen, fill the ozone hole, stop using so much petroleum products, and all that. And this was a huge obsession for him, but in a wonderful way, because he was really passionate. When he was interested in something, passion would really show through. So
yeah, absolutely. So there's a whole raft of things that are going to be going on, certainly, from now until the end of the year, and then creeping into to next year as well, which is going to be great. And there's just like loads of stuff for people to do. So just let's do just a little quick recap. So let me just bring this onto the screen. Foolishly shut this bit down, so let's do this again. Here we go. Right, so we've got June 7th, the event at EMIAP, where you can buy tickets. Those tickets are available if you go to the EMIAP website or click through from the Alan R Pearlman Foundation website. The tickets are available there, so if you can go in person, there are tickets for the actual event itself. On Saturday, June 7th, which is also Prince's birthday, and was also actually my first wedding anniversary, as in first wife, not the second one. Strange coincidence of dates there. 7 till 10 p.m. on that day. I guarantee you'll have a much better time than I did with my first marriage. Doors at 6:30. and that's in Harleysville, Philadelphia. You can also, of course, if you can't make it in person, so whether they've sold out of tickets for the in-person event or you live like we do a long way away, then you can buy a live stream access ticket. And as Dina said, they are valid for 1 month, so you can go back and rewatch the event and rewatch it and do all of those kinds of things. So that's happening on June 7th. And then in August, we've got the event at NAMM, which the dates are now August 9th and 10th, with details to follow, but sort of similar sort of thing going on at the NAMM Museum for 6 months, you said, which will tie it over. And so it'll overlap with NAMM in January of 2026. So you can do both and sort of do a 2-for-1 experience, shall we say. We've got the Herbie Hancock signed Korg Arp Odyssey, which I can just bring on the screen there. There it is. There's only one of them. It's still available for sale. It doesn't look like anybody's bought it during the show. $3,900 plus shipping, of course, wherever you might be. But it's a fully assembled Arp Odyssey full-size kit that has been signed by the legend that is Mr. Herbie Hancock. We've also got the compilation album that Steve Roach is putting together. We're expecting that sort of towards September of this year. So approximately 40 tracks, which is just going to be amazing. I know what one of them is. That's the only one I know. I won't say, but I'm very, very excited that that's happening. And there's also one more thing that you're going to kind of tease with us today. You can't tell us too many details, but go on, Dina, give us a tease.
Okay. We are going to have our first and maybe only raffle. Yep. We are doing a raffle in this wonderful style of Bob Moog Foundation. We will be giving some teasers around my dad's birthday, and we will be launching it on June 11th.
That's my mother's birthday. That is actually my mother's birthday.
Well, then,
wow.
So I'm going to definitely buy a ticket because that's just like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So it's very exciting. It's it's a lot of work. It is incredible. I have nothing but admiration for the Bob Moog Foundation for being able to carry this off. It is daunting, and it's also extremely exciting and lots of fun. And everything will be detailed, utmost detail. It is both been restored inside, and we're getting some cosmetic things on the outside, and it's been signed by a certain someone, and we are so proud and so grateful, and I hope that you all participate. This is something that is really going to, I think, bring us into another level of awareness. And that's really the bottom line. We want people to know who we are. We want people to know who my dad was and why his work was and is still important to this day.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have to be really careful because I know what it is, and I know who that other person that's involved is, shall we say. It is very exciting. It really is. It's, you think about those raffles that the BMF have done, and they've got instruments signed by people who are kind of synonymous. This is absolutely, it's right up there. It's right up there. So put some pennies aside. Come June the 11th and the announcement, you will want to be buying probably more than one ticket for this, and we'll be shouting about it here as well, and hoping that one of us wins it as well.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna be buying tickets definitely, and I mean, and it's worth noting that we know that in the States things have got a bit weird, and that arts funding is not really being readily handed out anymore. And foundations such as the Alan R Pearlman Foundation, I know you're doing a lot of stuff with education, bringing people through. There's a whole bunch, and this is our history. It's all of our history, regardless. Anywhere in the world that's used synths, this is our history. So please do support it. Please do, and buy lots of tickets. You're not going to regret buying tickets for this thing. You're not. Trust me.
Absolutely.
Buy lots. Buy some for your friends.
Indeed. This is going to be big.
I think that if everyone who hasn't signed up for our mailing list could sign up for, I did put
you did
put the URL somewhere. We and also, you know, please like and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. We've been sorely deficient in new YouTube videos lately, but that's gonna we're gonna launch one on the birthday, and I think everyone will find it pretty interesting. Yeah, and this way you'll be on top of, you'll be the first to know about events, especially if you're someone who, I know a lot of people aren't crazy about social media. It's sort of, sometimes it's sort of a necessary evil that's integrated itself into our society, right? But so if you prefer just the web, then please definitely sign up. We don't send out too many newsletters. I don't think it doesn't.
That's it. Yeah, best way to do it. Yeah, sign up for the newsletter, and also if you are on socials, follow. Go over to the website. Loads of great information over there.
Oh,
and
Before I forget, I put in a queue for like question just so you would see it. I guess you didn't see it. So we are inviting everyone to participate in the Centennial, and the way that you can participate is to do a little selfie video. Doesn't have to be extensive, and hashtag and share with us on the interwebs. So there's a hashtag that we created. I'll put it in again. Yeah. Hold on. Should I just put it in the chat, or?
Yeah, stick it in the chat, and then I'll see it and then bring it onto the screen. They whiz by so fast.
It looks like RPAT, but you know.
There we go.
You can't do the @ with a hashtag, I found out.
No, that's right. Yeah, you have to do all that. So RPAT100. There we go.
So we know that many people, especially people in generations like mine,
what, in the 20s?
Right? You know, baby boomers and
Gen Xers.
Gen Xers, learned how to use synthesizers. If they went to college, they learned on an ARP. It was really standard to have an ARP 2600 and often a 2500 and sometimes an Odyssey, but the 2600 was almost ubiquitous in most university settings and college settings. And so I cannot even tell you how many people have told me I learned how to play synth on an ARP. So we think that this has been the foundation of many people's synthesizer life. Whether or not they went on to play them in later years is really irrelevant, because learning on the foundation that this gives you is something that you can take and bring to any system out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I was watching again for the umpteenth time. There's an episode of there's a series called Classic Albums, which has had a few seasons, and my favourite one is Stevie Wonder's Songs in the Key of Life. And he references the ARP numerous times, particularly the 2600. When he's banging it around, he's trying to demonstrate how he was trying to get it to work properly on a particular track, and then moves over to his Kurzweil where he sampled it in so he could play it on there. But he was showing how he was layering those 2600 sounds to get this amazing, especially on I Wish. There's that bit at the beginning. It's just amazing. And then he talks about other ARPs, and it's a great episode if you can find. It's on YouTube. Probably not legally, but it's there. Go and have a look. It's fantastic.
Oh, share it before it comes down again.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have to go for a few minutes.
We're going to let you go, but you'll hopefully come back and say goodbye. But you're a busy lady, so we don't want to keep you hanging on. Listen, thank you for all of that information. Thank you for coming on again. We love to have you on.
Oh, we love
we'll
I love you guys so much. You've all been amazing. This journey, I can't believe it's been over 5 years already. It's pretty startling, and it's been quite a 5 years.
yes, yeah.
Quick,
Crazy.
quick question for you. Quick question for you, Dina. The videos you're asking people to do the link to, if they're going to make a video, can they use their own ARP style instruments and or plugins to explain why it means something to them? Because then that covers a lot. There's a lot of things out there. There's the chroma, which I know is Cherry did, and there's lots of different sorts of ARP inspired and ARP instruments. Would you be okay with people doing?
Of course. We think about if people are standing on the shoulders of giants, and Bob and Al and Don, all of the synthesizers that came afterwards really have an homage to these three. And so any clone version or a VST, or you could just be wearing your ARP shirt and say, I just want to send love to one of the fathers of synthesis. That's we're not dictating how the content is going to be made. We just want to create sort of this ongoing a year of wonderful posts. I learned how to use ARP, or I love ARP, or like that. Sort of like an abbreviated version of what you do with your synthspirations.
Oh yes, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
There you go. An ARP at 100, ARP AT 100 hashtag is what you should use if you want to tag those and get the attention of that lady down there so she can share them around. Dina, it's great to have you as always. Hopefully you'll be back before we go and you can come and say goodbye. But we'll let you go and do your business, shall we say, and we'll see you back here soon.
All right.
Yay.
Okay, take care.
Bye, Dina.
Bye. Well, when I see you in a bit.
Yeah.
Do I just
Okay.
click on the link to come back in? Or?
Yeah, just come back in the same way as you came in before. Okay.
All right.
See you later.
Yeah,
bye.
Bye.
Dina Pearlman, everyone.
Yay!
Dina will hopefully be back. She's got business calls to attend to, so she's going to go and do those. But she will hopefully come back and say a proper goodbye a little bit later on. Right. So lots of stuff there about the Alan R Pearlman Foundation. An organisation we are more than happy to support in whatever way we can. So please do go and investigate. I'll try and update the description down below in the video to put all of the links in that Dina has supplied. But if you want them, just give us a shout either here in the chat, leave a comment, or come and visit us at the Facebook page that we run, and you'll probably find them all there. But of course, you just go to the Alan R Pearlman Foundation.org website, and everything you need will be in there. Right, gentlemen, we actually have a little bit of news that things happened.
No.
In the last 7 days, not much, but little things, just little things. Let's kick off with this one. This was a rather interesting one, he says. There's the video. Let's have a watch of this.
A stage is infinite space where nothing should hold you back. The new Astrolab has landed with elevated performance and 88 weighted keys. Go beyond.
This wasn't much of a surprise, and as far as I'm aware, this isn't the last word on the Arturia Astrolab. Obviously, they released that one there, which is now affectionately known as the Astrolab 61, because this is the Astrolab 88, which was announced beginning of this week, sorry. And it is, as you've probably seen and guessed, an 88-note weighted key version of the Astrolab, which is essentially this hybrid concept that is analog lab in a box. So all of the V Collection instruments are available to be played well, virtually all of them. There's maybe one or two missing. But what Astrolab 88 does is it sticks in a Fatar TP40L keyboard, which I have to say, I got to play with this in Arturia's little private room at Superbooth, and Peter and I had a little dabble, and that keybed is very, very nice. It's I thought they were going to stick in the one they put in the Keylab 88 Mark III, which is the Fatar TP110. This one is the 40L, and it's a gorgeous, it has a really lovely feel to it. It's kind of light, but with substance. It's one of those things you kind of have to play to kind of appreciate, but it's lovely. It's a really, really nice keyboard action. And so yeah, they've expanded it to that. Internally, they've also changed the CPU, and so they put in a slightly faster CPU, which will give them a little bit more polyphony and much faster loading times. But if you've got the 61, don't be too put off by this. Don't think you've now got an inferior model. You haven't, because the new firmware update, which is going to be 1.5 and is going to be released sometime around or by the middle of July, has got lots of improvements and enhancements in there as well. So whilst it will not have that little boost of extra power that the CPU board gives in the 88, you certainly will notice some significant improvements. And that update will also bring compatibility with all of the V Collection 11 instruments. So they've been playing a little bit of catch up, but once that firmware comes out, then you'll have the JP8000 at your fingertips. Pure Lo-Fi will be there. All of the augmented instruments will be there as well. So lots of good stuff there. It's such a nice keyboard. And it's got all of the features that the other one had. So you can plug a microphone in there and use it as a vocoder, as well as having another instrument running alongside. You can have pigments on stage in the keyboard. It's just this. Yeah, so it's a wonderfully versatile thing, but it is primarily a stage keyboard, and it works very well as one. Any thoughts on this one? I mean, it's not really a groundbreaking new thing, but it's a nice thing to have.
I think it is groundbreaking. I think it is. I mean, they've upgraded the processors so it runs pretty much everything in V Collection, and that means instead of taking this great monster to go out live, I can take it, plug another keyboard onto it, and I've got access to everything in V Collections. That's without having to be tied to a computer. Mm-hmm. For live, for stage work, it's. I mean, for me, it's a dream. I'm looking at this. I don't know how I'm going to afford it, but I'm looking at this with very envious eyes. I understand you and Peter both played it at Superbooth, and the keyboard isn't as heavy as this bugger, so you can actually do some light stuff. You can do the whatever's the Hammondy stuff as well if you want trills. I love this. I think they're going a really good way with this, and I think I think people are going to catch up to it and go, oh, that's what it's for, and it will become very, very desired. Certainly, I'm dribbling over it at the moment. I really like it.
Yeah. It is worth pointing out that all of V Collection 11 will run on that as well with the new firmware update. So there'll be no difference in functionality. It's just that they took the advantage of, obviously, a slightly faster processor being available. But you're also going to need it because you've got 88 notes going on in there. And therefore, the need for a little bit of increase in the polyphony is required, because you'll be doing a lot more with that, especially with splits, because that's what another thing it's capable of. Another thing that the new firmware will bring is program changes that can be fired out from the keyboard. So if you've got a rig, you can now set up all your program changes in the Astrolab and zip them out from here. And the other thing I want to point out, because I have seen a few people commenting here and in other places, is about the screen, the control knob. People look at pictures and go, no, it's a bit small, it's not very near. Try it. that's all I've got to say. Try it. It is not a hindrance whatsoever. In fact, it's a really useful way of interacting with the elements. And the beauty of Astrolab is that you can set up all of your program lists and your playlists in the application, and then just zip them over to the keyboard, and then they're there. You just call up your playlist, and everything is there. So you're not digging around searching for stuff. It's there. So it's
and the thing is, for live, I often find these big screen displays for live, they are a hindrance. It's almost, there's too much info. All I really need to know is a very basic set of info that tells me what's loaded, where it is, and I can get on with it, because I've already programmed most of it for live, right? So and I've seen, we had a good talk about this when it first came out, that circular thing, and it works really, really well for studio. Get it? You want a really great big thing, but then you've got your screens, right?
Yeah.
For live, this is just
It also comes with a very funky. I don't know if there's a picture of it. It comes with a very funky music stand that clips on the back. You see, there's like 4 little notches just sort of above where the screen is, and it just sits on there, and it's wood and metal, and it really looks the dog's leathery bits. It's very nice. This is going to be €2,499, which is a fair chunk of cash. Let me just bring up this. There's the music stand, which I think looks right, because it reminds me of the old music stands we used to have at school. I quite like that. Anyway, €2,500 euro, so probably like 2.3 UK, and maybe 2.5, 2.6 in the US. It does support, as you've seen there, it does support the wooden legs. It looks very nice on those. The one we saw in Berlin had those on there. It's a lovely thing to play, and it is a stage keyboard, as we've said, and but I think you still get a lot of mileage out of it in the studio as well. Kent, you've been very quiet. I'm assuming this is not for you, and therefore probably don't have much of an opinion, or maybe you do.
No, I think it's a beautiful looking piece of kit. But yes, it's going to be ideal for live performance. I think most. Well, I speculate, but I think most keyboardists have got an 88 to hand, well before this has come out. So, it's obviously it does a lot more, but I got the M8X, I got the SL88, I got the complete control. It's covered. But yeah, it is a lovely looking piece of kit.
You can also plug in a USB drive on this thing to store extra stuff, samples, for example, because it has a sample player built into it. It's one of the ways they get around, because the Arturia Mellotron plugin isn't supported on this, and I believe, don't quote me on this, I believe that is down to some sort of kind of copyright licensing issue. They can't use the name, so rather than do that, they've there's a bunch of like Mellotron samples in there that use the sample player to get around that. But yeah, it's good to know that this is expanded now. I think we're going to see a lot of these on stage. I mean, I'm a member of the unofficial Arturia Astrolab Facebook group, and increasingly day by day there are people posting pictures of them with the 61 on stage, using it and loving it. So it's a good thing. But yeah, so that's the Astrolab 88, and new firmware on the way for all Astrolabs coming shortly. So there we go. Lots of stuff to look forward to there. This next thing that I want to talk about, I'm quite excited about, and it has gone pretty close to the top of my shopping list. I'm going to play you a little bit of the beginning of the video, but it's a fairly it's about 5.5 minutes long, but it's the inventor talking about his new baby. This is Andre and his teensy One U MIDI interface.
Hi everybody, this is Andre, and today I'm presenting the new product by Deft Audio, and this is the unique MIDI interface that I designed, and it's available as the full assembled units or as a DIY kits, as you prefer. So over the years I tried all of available MIDI interfaces on the USB and a high port count as well, 8x8, and some of the Mod 2 interfaces that would allow you to do 16x16 and others that you can see around here. Anyway, well, I wasn't happy with most of them. Some of them were okay, but just too expensive, so I was really considering how I can simplify this. And several years ago, I started producing MIDI kits based on the Teensy microcontrollers, and these were basically let me to make the 5x5 and 8x8 cost-effective MIDI interfaces. What I'm showing now is the 1U MIDI interface, 8 inputs, 14 outputs. So, not a joke. Let's take a look on this. So, first of all, it's a 1U, as you may see here. It has, on the front panel, it has 4 pairs, so it's 4 ports, 1, 2, 3, 4, input and output on the DIN5. You have the remaining 4 ports on the back, so that would be 5, 6, 7, 8, input, output, again on DIN5. So that gives you 8x8, right, on the DIN5. But also, you have here 6 TRS-based ports. And these ports are configurable, and this is the unique feature of this interface, that it can be MIDI output port, it can be trigger output port, so you can connect it to the, well, to analog drum machines to fire up the triggers, you can connect it to the ear rack, so it's a 5-volt trigger, you can connect it to arpeggiator inputs on the synthesizer, and that would be driving your arpeggiator. So between MIDI, trigger, you can also select it to the sync output mode, and in that case it will be generating sync pulses like sync 24 or 108, 16ths and quarter and half notes and the bars. So that could be again driving your other gear like drum machines and other stuff as the sync port, and you can configure that per port. So per output you can select what it is pretty much in real time, and this is what that LCD screen is for. But that's not it. You also have the USB host input, so that allows you to connect the external USB keyboard, like, I don't know, MIDI keyboard or MIDI controller, and it will be routed again to the output as you would prefer. And also, there are some analog audio outputs. So there are 2 pairs, 2 stereo pairs of the analog output, and one is a high quality, so that's an Amber Brown DAC. That's well, directly goes to your USB, to the DAW. And another one is the medium quality. It's called, well, medium quality output out of the Teensy. That allows you to use it, again, as an analog trigger. You can fire up with some drum machines from this trigger, or, again, use it for different purposes. So, 2 stereo pairs of these.
Right, I'm going to cut it short because I could watch that, and every time I watch it, I think, oh, God, yeah. Think of another use of that. It's such a versatile thing. And I mean, Andre, I've known Andre for a while now, and he's just such a cool guy with brain the size of a planet, and he comes up with all these really, really cool ideas, and I think this is one of his coolest ones yet, because it's actually a really good value for money piece of gear. Let me just bring this up onto the screen. So as you saw in the video there, it's got 16 DIN ports, 8 in, 8 out, plus these 6 additional TRS ports that can be configured to spit out MIDI, sync, 5 volts, triggers. You've also got the USB input on there. You've got an audio output, 2 audio outputs, 1 high quality, 1 mid quality. The mid quality is one for using as a trigger output in its own right. And don't get too excited about the price here, because this is just for the PCB alone. This is the other great thing about this unit, is that it is completely open source. So the software that Andre has written for the Teensy board, open source. Hack it, do what you want with it. You can make it, do even more than Andre has done. But you can also build your own version of this and tweak it as you see fit. So you can buy the PCB alone. That's going to cost you $25 or about £18.50. You can buy the complete electronics kit for an extra $40, so that'll make it $65. You can buy the complete electronics kit with the front panel, so that adds on another 25, so that then makes it $90 for the complete electronics kit with the board and the front panel. Or you can buy the whole kit to assemble, so that's the side panels and so basically the whole enclosure. So you add $135 to that 25, so it's $160 for the full kit for you to assemble. Or you can just have Andre and his team assemble it for $250 and you can buy a fully assembled one sent to you. There's the kit with all its different pieces and some extra shots of it there. I mean, I can think of I've got drum machines here with trigger inputs, and I've got nothing really to mess around with those. This would be ideal for something like this, and to have that many ins and outs just in my desk right here would just be so cool. And for $250, what's that in real terms? It's 185 quid plus shipping. So shipping's going to be around 30-40 quid. I would have thought, actually, about 30 from the US. That's just cool. I'm blown away by this. I think this is such a cool thing. Kent, thoughts?
Yes. Well, making it open source has made it a game changer. Not everybody wants to have it as a rack.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think he's an incredibly cool guy anyway.
Yeah.
But not because of that, it's because he owns a Korg Oasis, as you saw in the video.
He actually owns pretty much one of everything.
Yeah, but he owns an Oasis. That means he's a dude.
He's got a certain quality.
Yeah, so this is a really clever approach to it. Are the ports dynamic?
How do you mean?
Well, you can configure them.
No, so the DIN 5 ports are dedicated ins and outs. So you have 4 pairs on the front, 4 pairs on the back.
Right, okay.
Okay, unlike, say, for example, the ESI that I have, M8U, which you can't see. See those red lights just there? That's it.
Yes.
16 ports automatically assigned, so it doesn't matter whether they're ins or outs. It knows what's going, whether it's which direction it's going in, so it automatically does that. But you've got 8 ins and outs. And then the 6 TRS ports can be individually configured to do whatever you want them to do. So maybe you want 3 to do MIDI, 1 to do Synth 24, and then the other 2 to do just trigger outputs or 5-volt CV or whatever.
Right.
Okay. So you can mess around with that.
Okay. That would clash badly then with my I've got a Mayo already, so yeah. We'll see. I still like the idea though of it being open source.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I have absolutely no idea how to mess around with this stuff, but I know there's lots of clever people out there that do, and if I owned one of these, I could take advantage of those clever people as they add functionality to it. For me, it's just I've the only MIDI interface. I haven't actually got a MIDI interface on my desk here. I've got a very small, like, couple of USB and a couple of DIN ports on the audio fuse, and then I've got this Akai patch bay thing, which I don't really use. I would probably throw it away, just put it somewhere else, and I'd put this in there because it's got that front-mounted USB port, and actually all of that front-mounted stuff is best on my desk because getting around to the back is a pain in the ass. So I would just wire in the few things that I've got permanently on the back, and then I'd have all of that stuff. So as I get things in to test or mess around with, I can just plug it in, take it out, plug it in, take it out. It's just so simple. It's very, very clever. Andy, any thoughts on this?
Well, I'm rebuilding my studio at the moment because I've given up my studio, so I'm rebuilding this room to do a whole bunch of stuff. So, and it's just full of gear at the moment. I mean, you can't see it all, but it's here. And this is what I've been using as a MIDI port. I've got a Psychologic M16 somewhere that's 16 in, 16 out, that's not working at the moment. And I've just been looking at this. You know, it's got the 8 ins and 8 outs, and this is good. You know, it's okay. But this gives me everything this does, plus the whole tip ring sleeve thing, which means I can also sync up all of these kinds of toys, and drum machines, and the ambient, and all the other bits I've got, I can sync up. This has got trigger input on it as well. Mm-hmm. This, and it has the USB in. This becomes a, I'm thinking of this with what was the other thing we looked at the other week, which is the USB MIDI device that does multi-way USB MIDI. We had it on the show the other week, but anyway. So I'm replacing this because that form factor works, and as Ken pointed out, the fact that it's open source means someone's going to be doing weird and wonderful things with it. There is no reason at all why you can't add extra things. I would imagine you'd be able to add additional ports on it. I wonder if you could add CV and gate, CV on there as well as gate. It's an interesting thing, and at that price, I'm just going to buy one. I'm just going to buy one. I forgot to mention
one important thing that might sell it to some more people.
Go on.
You can configure this and use it independent of a computer.
A computer, yeah.
It's completely independent, which is quite rare for MIDI interfaces. I had one. I can't remember what it was. I don't think it was the Yamaha one. I did have a MIDI interface that you had a thing, and you could save that configuration, and then just disconnect it from the computer, and you could always use that configuration. But because this has got the Teensy on board, and you do all the control settings on board, it's completely independent. So you can take this out and use this and mess around with it without even having it connected to a computer.
I've got an old MIDI timepiece that does exactly that.
Yeah.
Old MIDI timepiece 2, AV, but it's getting old and knackered. Whereas this, this is a no-brainer.
Definitely.
Really is.
Yeah. Brilliant stuff. I mean, I've always been thinking about, because I have my TX816 in a flight case, and I have that, which is 4U. I have the mixer, which is 1U, and then I have space at the top, which I generally fill with my Yamaha. Is it the MEP? Not the MEP. The MIDI filter type thing that I can't remember what the
MJC8.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
But I've never I bought it because it was a Yamaha thing. Never really sort of looked into it. So having one of these, it would have to have the MIDI ports on the front. But then again, somebody designed a version of this with all the MIDI ports on the back. It would be interesting. It's got a lot of potential uses. But Andreas, I swear, I met him in person for the very first time last year in Berlin. And it was completely unexpected, but he's a very tall chap, and he's got this big shock of blonde hair. And he was in this at this event one evening, and I saw him from the back, and I said, "He don't half look like that Andre guy." And as he turned around, I recognised him, and it's the first time we'd met in person. We've known each other for 10, 15 years.
I think the other
he's a genius.
I think the other thing which is interesting and clever about this is that there are a lot of other boxes out there that do some stuff, some of this and whatever, but they can be a bit intimidating for a lot of people because they require a degree of understanding that maybe isn't something you want to get. You just want to play. What's good about this is it works straight out the box. If all you want to use is the 5-pin MIDI and maybe a bit of USB or what, it just works, and you can do all the programming from the front screen, and it just works. It just works, and I think that appeals. It does all the other stuff as well, but that's a really good. I like this a lot.
I mean, looking at the board, I'm thinking, do you know what? I mean, I need to practice my soldering skills. Maybe
Well, thank God it's through hole.
Yeah, maybe I could put one of these. No, but then I'd probably. I'll let Andre do it. He knows what he's doing. But yeah, just what a great thing.
My only question about it is there going to be a specific app for it for your drivers for a door?
I don't think so. I think it's all completely on its own. It's USB class compliant, so you shouldn't need any drivers for that.
So you can connect your door to the USB host. You use your door as the USB host, and away you go.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
But if you want more information, I have put the link into the chat. There, if you go to that website, you can find that video that we showed a bit of. You can also find the schematics, the user manual, the assembly manual, and the bill of materials list as well. Everything is available there. This is the beauty of it. It's all open source. What a great thing to do. Too. Yeah, it is. It really is. It's USB powered, but if you are connecting everything, then it's worth investing in the external power supply, which is just a regular 9 to 12 volt PSU, which you'll find pretty common these days anyway. But yeah, what a versatile and clever and pretty sort of simple thing to do. It's just and go and check out all his other stuff as well. He's got some really cool, if that's maybe too much for you, he's got MIDI interfaces, small and large, and mergers and splitters, all in kind of kit form and pre-built. So yeah, wonderful stuff. And I'm looking forward to seeing more people getting hold of that and seeing what they can do.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's the time? It's 25:02. There was some more news. Now I wrote a little something about this this week, and I will not even begin to say that I understand what this does, how it does it, but it does sound quite interesting. This is the Programmer 900 2.0.
Introducing Programmer 900 2.0. The first iteration of Programmer 900 architecture was dense in design. It required a large amount of processors to compute 6 harmonic spectral voices with over 500 partials per voice, DSP, logic and CV buffers for all 32 mod destinations. Programmer 900 2.0 advances these concepts. Features include preset and spectral state morphing, harmonic spectral lock, a MIDI matrix for per note assign function, and 9 new DSP algorithms. These algorithms include time stretching through 0 flanges, 16 pole phasers with through 0 capabilities, per stage coefficient offsets and feedback resonance.
She sounds like the robot on a ship that's about to self-destruct, and she's trying to tell you in that lovely calm English voice that you're about to die in a very explosive way. And the machine sounds like that thing that's about to explode and make you into lots of tiny little bits of stardust. It's bonkers. I'm not even going to try and figure out exactly what this does, how it does it, but it did sound quite remarkable. It's built on FPGA and ARM Cortex technology, same ARM Cortex technology that Andre's using in his MIDI interface. 6 polytonal voices, each featuring odd and even harmonics, harmonic partials, harmonic tilt, and fundamental frequency control. Because of course it does. 4 quadrant multiplication of individual notes, times 32 complex gestural CV buffers, allowing 6 minutes CV recording windows for all 32 mod destinations and voice envelopes. I could go on, but I shan't because I'm boring myself. This is it's bonkers. I just read through this. I was going, what the hell is Gorbachev gas? Pearlman pearls, twin Q conjecture. What the hell? It's mental, and I like it. I kind of like it because it's absolutely unfathomable. It comes with a Mac app, so you can do all sorts of extra things to it on your computer, and then kind of send it over. Did any of you figure out what this is doing and how it does it? Or is it just me?
No. I mean, I had a look at this. The thing is, it sounds to me like a very bad thief has pole vaulted into a metalworking workshop, gone in through the top window and crashed through every single piece of spring and wire and God knows what else. But I think that's more to do with the demo. The demo's trying to show off how mad it can be. What it's not showing is how musical it could be. And I've got a feeling this is going to be an astonishing box and do all sorts of things. But I've got no real clear idea because the demo is just mad. It's mad.
And excuse me, if you go to the top of the website, there's this. You see, and I'm moving those. I have no idea what they are. I have no idea what the figures relate to.
It looks like FM, doesn't it?
It's I can make it go blurry, but it's just, what the hell? This is mad. And what's even more infuriating is that there's no price, no availability. There's just nothing at the moment. So I don't know, but I just found this utterly fascinating.
I hate that there's no PC version of the software, but I get it. But I love that it exists. I love that this is in the world and is going to be launched. I love that, but I've no idea. Absolutely no idea. Oh, there is going to be a Windows Programming 900. There is one.
I think there's a browser app that works across Windows, Linux, and OS X. But the actual app that you can use to expose further details of what's going on in there. Kent, have you got any clue at all about anything?
No. I mean, I must admit, I like to. I know, it's not for everybody, but I like to play music, but I don't know if I want a synth that sounds like C3PO having sex with a toaster in a fucking cutlery drawer. Do you know what I mean?
Apparently, it's going to be $900.
$900? No, not for me. No. You could basically take a whiz on a Lyra 8 and get that noise without having to pay $900.
Yeah. As Mike said, it must be genius. I don't understand a word of it. It's.
I mean, there's usable. There's usable chaos. Just going on that demo's not enough to go on, but that wasn't even striking me as usable chaos. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're going to demonstrate something, demonstrate it in such a way where you can very quickly give, oh look, it's capable at this end and it's capable at that end, and quickly go. But that was it just sounded like somebody trying to take a Boeing down a very, very small drain pipe. And just all and the wings and everything just scratching on the side of the pipe. And it's like, yeah, this is great. I can really fit this into my my live setup. This
I'd
is
like
to
to see
fit
some.
so well.
Yeah, I'd like to see some application demonstrations.
Exactly.
Here is a situation where this excels at doing what it does.
It's quite possible that all the jargon over the top of this is because the people who developed it also don't fucking know what it's doing either.
Yeah, this could rip a hole in the space-time continuum.
It's a Doctor Who. It's radiophonic workshops madness, but it's a madness that I love. I think Alan would have loved this. Alan would have looked at this and gone, "Word there, yeah."
Would he, Dina? Would Alan have loved something as weird as this?
Oh, if it was weird, he'd love it.
There you go. Absolutely. Bonkers stuff. But it's called the Programmer 900 2.0. I have no idea what the 1.0 was like. I'm going to throw the link in the chat so you can go and check it out. If you can figure it out and sort of tame it and tell us in simple layman's terms what this can do, I'd be most grateful. Answers on a postcard to Swap Shop, Wood Lane, BBC TV, London.
I imagine the 1.0 sounds like exactly what you would hear in your head if you licked your fingers and stuck them in the power socket.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Probably, yeah. But great that it exists. Fantastic. Anyway, we've got a couple more things just to go over. This one was very interesting. So as you know, if you follow these sorts of things, the late, great David Lynch he wasn't late when he passed away. He was late after he passed away. But anyway, he's now late. David Lynch, they're now auctioning off a lot of his estate. And you might think, well, what does David Lynch have to do with electronic music? Quite a lot, I'll tell you, because he was very into it. And he is selling off, or not him personally, because that would be quite remarkable, but his estate, are selling off a bunch of things. And so I'm just going to get rid of these bloomin'. I thought I'd got rid of these. I'm not going to accept all. There we go. Right. This is one part of the sale. It's an Emulator 3. It's currently sitting at $3,000. There's been about 14 or 15 bids on this. And it doesn't say if it was used on anything in particular, but there's plenty of photographs of it. It looks in very reasonable condition. Emulator 3 keyboard with the flight case marked with David Lynch. And of course, it comes with full provenance. There were some other interesting bits and bobs in the auction. I've just singled out the instruments. So there were some guitars. This is lovely DW 10-piece drum kit, which at the moment the current bid is $2,500, which it's gone up a little bit since I last had a look. There's a Casio keyboard in there as well. There's the Emulator 3. There's this absolutely bonkers Danny Farrington custom 5-neck guitar. There's bass guitars. There's pedals. There's trumpets, lap guitars, microphone rigs, a very special 1930s Western Electric transmitter ribbon microphone in the original Samuel Goldwyn case that was given to David. That's currently sitting at £800. June production office vintage microphone, a violin shaping mold. Didn't know he was into that. There's a 1982 Fender Rhodes. It doesn't say if that was the one that the theme to Twin Peaks was composed on by the great Italian composer whose name has literally just flown out of my head.
I've got some info. I've got some info on the E3. It's the reason he had it was because it had a very special filter, which had 2 separate filters running in parallel, so that you could have Twin Peaks.
There's a Chaos.
I think your echo
pad.
cancellation is on, buddy.
Oh, did that mess up? Yes, it did,
Yes.
I suppose, yeah. Oh, well. It was crickets chirping, bells ringing. Rain sticks, tongue drums. There's
Did
a
I see
stylophone.
$900 for a Boss foot pedal? Up a bit more. A couple of rows up.
Yes. For a Boss delay.
For a Boss delay.
Yeah, 15 bids. It's currently at 900.
Wow.
Thank you, Angela Badalamenti. Thank you, Steve.
Just about the
honestly, that
name.
name just went straight out of my head. There's rain sticks. There's
700 for a
an
stylophone.
Evolution. I mean, this is one of the cheapest, crappiest controllers that you could buy. $700 at the moment, just because it was David Lynch's. But there's a whole bunch of other stuff.
It says that it was David Lynch's.
This is just the musical stuff, but there's plenty of interesting bits and bobs in there. All you got to do is go over to the David Lynch collection over at Julian's, and it's been done in conjunction with Turner Classic Movies. Link is in the chat right there. Lots of other lots. I mean, if I just get rid of the filter, I mean, they're selling his coffee machines, God damn it. Tables, furniture, taxidermy deer heads, currently sitting at $3,500. 4 Mulholland Drive prop menus. That'd be quite cool to have.
Imagine if this caught on.
Scripts. Look at that, $6,000 for some Mulholland Drive scripts. Yeah. So if you are a Lynch fan, then there's some great gear here. Yeah. They're going to make a tidy sum out of this lot. But yeah, there's all that kind of stuff there. Link is in the chat if you want to go and have a look and maybe place a bid on there. But I just thought that was an interesting thing. Something else that happened this week, which we won't spend huge amounts of time on, is the fact that Apple released 11.2 of Logic Pro, which has added an even better stem separation facility that now allows you to also separate guitar and piano stems a lot better. They've also improved the... they didn't call it flashback capture, they called it something else. But now flashback capture, essentially in the background, is always recording your MIDI and your audio now. So it always did MIDI, now it does audio as well. So if you just played something and then you thought, oh damn, I didn't hit record, don't worry, you just press this button and it loads everything in. So it's a very clever thing, and you can mess around with that and the whole stem separation stuff. There's new sound packs in there. The faders on the mixer have finally got a long throw capability, so you can have much longer faders, which allows for finer resolution when you're mixing. And they've updated the iPad version as well, so there is that. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, I think that was pretty much all of the news. We covered Arturia, we covered Andre's amazing interface and the bonkers programmer 900 2.0, the Lynch auction, and Logic. I don't think there was anything else. If anybody has got anything that they can remember, I think that was pretty much it. Starting to see things emerge after that lull after Superbooth. Yes, there we go. That's pretty much what we had for the week. So now we've got the lovely Dina Pearlman back in the house. How was your meeting, by the way? Was it all good?
It was good. Yes, my intern. I had an intern for this last semester from master's program at Berkeley, and he had a presentation, and it was requested that if it's possible, his mentor come. So I went to mentoring session. Yeah.
Nice. So let's just remind everyone what you originally came on to tell us about. We'll do a quick recap as we go through. So correct me if I get any of this wrong. We're kicking off events to celebrate what would have been Alan R Pearlman's 100th birthday on June the 7th this year.
Yep.
Everything kicks off with an event that is happening at EMIAP in Philadelphia. It is a live performance that is featuring Don Slepian, Ambient, and I forget the lady's name. Remind me.
Robin. Oh gosh.
I've got the pictures here.
Hatch. Robin Hatch.
That's it. Robin Hatch. There we go. I've got. We've got Don. We've got Mike, aka Ambient, and Robin Hatch. They'll be performing live, and maybe some other people do, on June the 7th at EMIAP. And let me just remove that from there. So details and tickets can be found. You can either click through the link from the Alan R Pearlman Foundation website, or you can go directly to the EMIAP website and click through from there. And that will take you to this page where you can buy your ticket either for the in-person or for the live stream. And the live stream is going to be available on the day and for a month afterwards. So you can go and re-watch it. You don't have to watch it live. You can have some sleep, get up the next day, have a brew, and watch this in its entirety. And you can do that.
Steve can watch it if Steve Smith is still around.
Steve could watch it. It'd be his breakfast,
get up and have his coffee and watch it on Sunday morning. Absolutely.
So that's the first thing that's kind of going to kick off this year of events, which is the event at the EMIAP. And then Then we got the NAM event, which is celebrating the Centennial to be featured at the NAM's Museum of Making Music, which is going to start on August 9th and run through for 6 months. So it will overlap with the actual NAM, Winter NAM. Is it Winter NAM? Do they still call it Winter NAM, or is it just NAM?
No, they just call it the NAM show. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't do. Do they do the summer one? I don't think they do that anymore, do they?
Oh, gosh, I don't recall. I don't know. Let's see what I don't recall what they did this summer, but summer hasn't started yet, has it? So
no, not quite. Not quite.
So they typically do have one. I want to say Nashville.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's usually more guitar oriented. If there's to be an orientation, it's more guitar.
Absolutely.
No,
yeah. So yeah, we've got that. That's happening. Nick asked in the chat, after the live stream, would a recording be available maybe to Patreon members here? No, unfortunately not. But you've got a month. So you can buy a ticket, which I think, what did we say they are? They are, for the live stream event, $28.52, which includes the three. So it's $25 plus the fee. So $28.52. And then you buy that ticket. You don't have to watch it live, but you can watch on catch up for a whole month after the event. So you can do that.
And if you buy the ticket, you'll be privy to some proprietary merch. So we have some T-shirts and posters that are made just for the event, and they'll be on discount for people who purchase tickets. So
awesome.
Try to throw in a little niceys.
Yeah, absolutely. So the next thing we talked about, so we've got the thing at EMEA, we've got the thing at NAM, we've got this, which is a Korg Arp Odyssey FS fully assembled kit, signed by the legend that is Herbie Hancock, and is literally a one-off. It's available right now to buy. Let me just refresh that page, just in case. No, still there. It's still available. So if you want to buy it now. It would be cool to see it go down to out of stock. But all proceeds go to the Alan R Pearlman Foundation. So that's a really cool thing. That's available at Synth Cube. I can't remember if I posted that link into the chat, so I'll just do that right now. This is where I miss our moderators doing all for us. So yeah, there's that. And also, talking of instruments, there is a raffle that is going to be announced on June 11th. It's easy for me to remember that date because it's my mother's birthday. It's very exciting. This is going to be a really, really cool thing. So keep an eye out for that. Instead of keeping an eye out, just do this. Subscribe to Arpeggio, which is the newsletter. Just put in your name, your email address, and Dina will put you on the list, and you'll be the first to know about that and any other Alan R Pearlman Foundation news. And then, of course, there's the compilation album, which is being compiled by Steve Roach, which is going to have around 40 tracks, none of which we can talk about right now, but it's going to be all kind of art related, and it's going to be very cool. And that has a projected release date of around September 2025. It's going to be on Bandcamp. There are plans for CDs, and if I can twist her arm enough, we'll get a vinyl version maybe as well. That'd be rather cool. So lots going on. You must be snowed under with all of this. I can't imagine.
it's I must like the chaos. It must be.
You must, yeah, absolutely. How is
Arps for All?
Arps for All. There you go. How's that going?
It is doing really, really well. There's been some interesting changes in the record co. They now have a second location. The Arps for All is going to remain in the main location where the recording studios are. The second location is more of a rehearsal complex. But it's been wonderful. Actually, recently, some people started tagging the foundation with stuff they were doing with the 2500, which was like, wow.
Nice.
You know, so what is? Oh, that looks like that 2500 looks very familiar. Oh, that's ours, right? You know, because people tag us a lot, which I really love. And please tag us and collaborate with us. I love it. I love getting those videos. So there seems to be a lot of interesting stuff coming out of there. We had a successful residency, and we've been a little remiss in getting the video up there, but we will get a video for the residency, and our resident will be on the compilation as well.
Awesome.
And we're going to have a mini residency. Someone came up with a very, very small proposal, which we're going to go ahead and go for. And I'm going to actually lead with that and saying that if you do have a proposal for a project outside of when we have our regular residency cycle, which we'll be having next year, just like we did this past year, feel free to contact us, and you can reach us through the website.
Fantastic stuff.
We're all about trying to nurture projects, and a lovely gentleman from Belgium actually contacted us, and he'll be coming to Boston the week right after the Centennial start. He's part of the computer music convention. It's a convention of some kind, computer music.
Okay.
It's an international symposium convention thing, and that'll be at Northeastern University. So we're really excited about that.
Cool stuff. And of course, if you're going to be on the road, hopefully seeing you at Knobcon, Bristronica, NAMM, and fingers crossed Super Booth across the whole year. So if you're going to any of those events, I know I'm going to at least 2 of them.
Yay.
So our paths will cross. So that'll be a lot of fun.
I'm very much looking forward to coming back to the UK. It's such a blast the last time. It was great.
It was, yeah. It was all good. So yeah, looking forward to seeing you, and looking forward to seeing what people come up with their hashtags, and looking forward to the compilation album and the raffle, and watching the Emmy App show as well. So lots of great stuff to look forward to. Dina,
yeah, it's going to be a year chock full of wonderful surprises, and merch, and all sorts of great stuff. So.
Yeah. And we'll be reminding everyone of all of these things as we go through the year, to just make sure that nobody forgets and everyone gets to take part. Dina, as always, it's such a joy and an honour to have you on. I hope that we've managed to get the word out a little bit more for you today, and good luck with everything. It's going to be a big year, and I hope it is a successful one for you and for the foundation.
Can I add something?
Sure.
There's 125 people watching it, but only 10 thumbs up. Come on, everybody.
Oh, come on. Give us a thumbs up. Where's
Matt
Evans? Matt Evans is the one that's corralling them and bullying them into clicking the thumbs up during the show. Give us a thumbs up during the show. It really does help our stats, apparently, so I'm told. Apparently Jervis says it's jumped to 59, so at least that's good. That's a healthy number.
That's great. All right.
Brilliant stuff.
And then like our page as well. So.
And then go and do that. Go and follow Dina's socials and everything.
And donate. If you've got a few bucks, donate. You can just donate on the website. It's there. PayPal, credit card, whatever you like.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's important. Do it. Please.
Brilliant stuff. Dina, it's a pleasure. Thank you ever so much. Look forward to seeing you and speaking to you again very, very soon. Take the greatest of care. I'd love to Ruperto as well. Gentlemen, good to see you as always. Anything lined up interesting over the weekend? Are you going to be crushed by a Mustang again, Ken? Or are you giving that a swerve?
I'll have chicken soup and chamomile tea.
No, I'll be Mustanging.
You'll be Mustanging.
Mustang belly.
Yeah, Mustang belly. Anyway, Andrew, you got anything lined up apart from nursing your poorly tummy?
I'm just going to nurse myself this weekend, I think. It's a bit of TLC. And I've got to talk to you, Ken. I've been trying to get hold of you. I've been doing stuff with this. I've got some questions for you as well. Just want to...
Talking of that, Ken, we need to do our little piece, our Polybrute piece.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be that little idea I sent you. That I've kind of gone off that now anyway. But
okay.
Yeah, we need to do something because I know it's August. I think we have to submit it, so we've got time. But there's holidays and all that.
Yeah,
kind of
but
stuff
when you've got time and suddenly there isn't any.
I'm off to see China Crisis again next week. Really looking forward to that at the Norwich Arts
that'll be fun.
They are brilliant. Like if China Crisis come to your neighborhood, and they do travel, they were in America last year, I think. They are such a brilliant band. They're brilliant songwriters, and Gary is an absolute scream. It's part concert, part stand-up comedy routine, and they're both brilliant. It's so good. So really looking forward to going and seeing them next week. So, and thankfully it's not on a Friday, it's on a Thursday, and it's up the road, so I don't have to take any time off. It's going to be rather good. Anyway, that is a show. That was episode 269.
Yeah.
Don't forget we had to renumber a whole bunch of shows because Muggins here got a little bit confused. So that was episode 269. Next week we have a very special guest. I say very special. He's big and loud and smelly, but we love him to bits, and he's just scored the BBC's newest natural history documentary, Walking with Dinosaurs 2, which launched on Sunday of last week. We're going to have the composer for the entire score of that series. You know him as Ty Unwin. We know him as the Fat Git, the Grumpy One, the Miserable Sod, the Mouthy One, the Ranter. But he's a lovely guy, and we're going to have him on the show. Going to tell us all about how you score a TV program and why he has no hair, because one is related to the other. So yeah, Taiwan's on the show next week. Looking forward to that one. And we are lining up some, we're still kind of trying to get our ducks in a row with people that we met at Super Booth, but we are hoping to get some great developers, manufacturers, and also a legendary artist who is also an ARP user. We're getting him lined up for maybe in a couple of weeks' time. But watch out for that. Make sure you subscribe to the channel to get notified, but also join us on social media. Facebook is probably the best place to join us, and you'll hear about all of this stuff first. And that is everything. I'm going to turn the show off now. Thank you all for joining us. Thanks for all of your kind messages, for your donations, and thank you, Dina, again for gracing us with your presence. We love having you on, and we will see everybody same time, same place next week with Mr. Ty Unwin. Have a great and safe weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye.